They go on water just to make people smile. They go through the bush path just to make sure that communities are developed. They engage with governments and high key stakeholders just to make sure that they make people happy. Sometimes they get sick, kidnapped, even threatened. Yet they enhance the voices of the vulnerables, persons with disabilities, women, youth, boys, and girls. They take the message to the grassroots, but their voices are not heard. Voiceless Voices gives us a platform to hear and share the stories behind community development. I am Josiah, your anchor. Join us on our social media platform to hear the stories behind these community development. Welcome to Voiceless Voices, and it's another beautiful episode. My name is Josiah Eblika, where we hear the experiences of people that have been in the community field, people that put smiles on the faces of people, but their voices are not heard. Here gives you that platform to speak your mind. I have someone again to tell us some of those things that he has been experiencing in the field. So we call him Evans, but some persons that know him call him the stubborn argumentator. Well, don't take my words for it though. Let's go to him. Come on. Voiceless Voices gives us a platform to hear and share the stories behind community development. Join us on our social media platform to hear the stories behind these community development. So how have you been, Evans? Tell us about yourself.
Okay, thank you very much for having me here. My name is Evans Imo. I'm the Monitoring and Evaluation Officer for Support Initiative for Sustainable Development, SISDEV, here in Port Harcourt.
Yeah, very, very good. And we need to say that Monitoring, Evaluation and Learning Officer, that came after one thing we're going to talk later. But before we go into that, let's know a bit about you, Evans. How have you been in the civil society world?
Okay. Yeah, I've actually been a volunteer. I came into the civil society space as a volunteer, and over time, I had to build capacity. And one of the places I actually built more capacity is in the mutual capacity strengthening program that was organized by the OFOE and Odudu organization,
yeah.
And it was funded by Oxfam. So I actually learned so much, which I took back to my organization, and by the grace of God, today we are actually doing better.
Yeah, let's talk about the mutual capacity strengthening, since you've taken us there already, okay? It was like you were almost the voice at every session,
Okay.
It was like, if they want somebody to talk, Evans will just have to talk.
Okay.
Evans will just want to bring out those things. So let's go deeper. What made you show so much interest? Because I know a lot of persons will just want to talk for talking's sake, but
Okay.
you decided to take it step after step, even when things does not look so glaring. You brought it back to ensure you got it. Let's take us through it.
Okay. Basically, I was very interested in learning the monitoring and evaluation because I noticed that we had a lot of gaps there.
Okay.
And based on that, I had to pay much attention to learn, and so as much what I can do is to bring it back to my organization. So because of the gap, I was very interested. Then and again, I also realized that if I actually must make impact in the society, in the community where we want to go or where we're going to, I just have to have full knowledge of this. I have to build my capacity. So I tried as much as I can to make sure that I ask questions, make sure I criticize questions or answers, so as much I could know better.
Yeah,
So
the
basically,
criticizing part
yeah.
was a hell of. Okay, so I like putting people in the spot,
Okay.
and I'll try that with you. What was your best moment during the capacity train?
Best moment, I would say every moment was amazing. Every moment was amazing, but I think I want to mention one moment that struck out for me.
Mm-hmm.
That was when um, we had two different courses. We had the MIE and we also had the strategic
Yeah.
planning. So for MIE, I realized that there are certain tools that are not MIE tools in the
Okay.
course of
Okay.
our training.
Okay.
And over time, I've been looking at those things as normal, as normal tools. For instance, the attendance sheet.
Yeah.
So I now get to understand that attendance sheet can actually be an MIE tool or not an MIE tool. So in the course of this training, I discovered that so this attendance sheet I was actually thinking is an MIE tool is not, especially when it is not carrying those sensitive questions that has to do with gender,
Yeah.
that has to do with disability,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
on. So I
Yeah.
just get to realize that wow, so if you have an attendance sheet without these tools, without these questions, it may not even serve as an MIE tool.
And that's true because again you cannot disaggregate.
Yeah.
You cannot, you need to provide data. So we need to come to a point where everything we do gives us data. If it doesn't give us data, then we will not be able to capture what. And it's particularly where we look at gender mainstreaming.
Okay.
That's one thing attendance tool does. How have you been able to carry people along, after you've gathered this whole knowledge in terms of your project implementation,
Okay.
especially gender inclusion?
Okay. So basically, we reviewed our mission statement to
Oh,
include
beautiful.
the organizational mission statement to include people with disabilities
Oh,
and
wow.
including
Wow.
um, not just youth but including male and female.
Yeah.
So that's basically what we did. We reviewed our mission statement as that during before the training.
Yes,
We
please.
never realized that in our mission statement it wasn't that
Captured.
captured. We didn't realize that we are missing certain items there. So we had to review it, and it was as a result of the training. So
Okay, so personally, how has it affected your life? Yeah,
okay.
this is
Okay. Personally, I would say, um, for me, the mutual capacity training has actually affected me in the area of capacity building. I've been able to, I now am able to write a proposal.
okay.
I'm now able to look at a mission statement and say this mission statement is not
It's
capturing.
not capturing every
Yes, yeah.
element. It's
I can
not okay.
actually look at the goal of an organization and review it and say this goal is not a goal, and this is how a goal is supposed to look like. So it has actually it has helped me to understand how to write a vision clearly, how to write a mission, and how to write a goal. So, and again, for the MIE, it has also helped me to understand that MIE is not something that you do maybe by the end of an activity or by the end of a project or during a project, but MIE starts even before the beginning of the project.
Yeah,
So it has helped
true.
me to understand so much about the job I do as a community development personnel or officer.
So let me take it out from the capacity training
Okay.
and get you this. Have there been any bizarre moment in your line of implementing projects? Can you tell us one if you have? Have there been moment that okay, look, I remember a particular moment where we have to stay on the river, okay,
Okay.
on Billy River for hours just because we want to make people happy. Have there been any of those experiences?
Not really.
Oh, you're lucky.
Not really.
Okay, but what about wonderful experience when it comes to the community work? You have one that you can share with us? Maybe one that you've done and somebody said, thank you so much for doing this.
Okay, okay. I could say that honestly speaking, the civil society, the community development work is a work that um, even the government may not be able to reach out to do, except individuals like CSOs could do that. There are communities that we've actually gotten into, and for instance, my organization focuses on peace development and so on. So there are communities in the River State here we've gone. Let me just mention one.
Please do.
We entered the community in the Ogoni land that is called what do they call this community? They call, is it Bomo or what?
Bomo, okay, yeah.
We got to this community, met with leadership and so on, and I remembered we had a training. Okay, we gathered them from the Kana and some from the Thai.
Okay.
We brought them together and we had a training and trained them on peace development and conflict management, and the impact brought about the king, or let's say the king or the chiefs, the traditional leaders, calling us together, appreciating us, giving us food items, and we can do with this.
What's the food item? Come on, you need to give me my own now.
Give us things like plantain, give us gari, and so on.
Come on, come on. Oh, wow, this is nice. Yeah. See, that's one thing when you do community work and you do it well. So what have you learned in the process? In all of this, for the moment, what has been your lesson?
My lesson, talking about, my lesson is whatever we do when it has to do with community development, I think my lesson is that we have learned that we just be passionate about it, love what you do, especially because most times you're not funded, so you just have to love what you do it all with all of your heart. There are times that we may be out of fund, maybe and we do it with our own resources available at the moment. So I think one of the things I've learned in it is to just have passion for what you do.
Wow, that's emotional. Just have passion for what you do. Because the truth is, without passion, you cannot achieve meaningful impact. And this is a word for community developers out there, social developers. The work we do as community developers and social developers is a work that looks like a no man's land. You can go to a particular place and you'll be kidnapped. You go to a particular place and you'll be seized. I've experienced some of them. You go to a particular place and you don't know if you're coming back, that day you sleep. Anywhere they provide for you. But passion will keep you going. This is the best one to just end this episode, because I'm feeling, I'm emotional right now when you talked about passion. Thank you so much for being with us, Evans.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you again and again and again.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So this is where we will end this episode. I don't have my handkerchief, okay, so I don't want to cry. So my name is Josiah Ebileka. This is Voiceless Voices. See you in the next episode.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
They go on water just to make people smile. They go through the bush path just to make sure that communities are developed. They engage with governments and high key stakeholders just to make sure that they make people happy. Sometimes they get sick, kidnapped, even threatened. Yet, they enhance the voices of the vulnerables, persons with disabilities, women, youth, boys, and girls. They take the message to the grassroots, but their voices are not heard. Voiceless Voices gives us a platform to hear and share the stories behind community development. I am Josiah, your anchor. Join us on our social media platform to hear the stories behind these community development.